Hi, I'm Josh, also known as Cpgeek, and today we're actually going to speedrun a quick demo for some stuff that I was talking online to a few friends about. The goal of the day is to go ahead and install a Windows 11 operating system, the current version downloaded directly from Microsoft's website. They have an ISO available for download. And then we will go ahead and install that and get a local account configured with no hacks or dropping to a command prompt to do anything silly. In order to do that, we're going to be using the Proxmox cluster that I set up on a previous stream. It's a pretty simple setup. I'm actually going to just configure a base virtual machine to get us started. And let's go on over to my desktop. I am going to run through this a little on the quick side, but I am going to do everything in front of you so you can see exactly what's going on here. So I'm going to go ahead and switch over to my desktop here. This is the Proxmox setup. I just logged in. I'm looking at a summary of the machines that I have online. I'm not going to go too deep into that today, but I am just going to go ahead and create a new virtual machine. I can do that by going to any one of my machines here. It doesn't really matter. So I'll just go to the first one here, Centaur. It's not doing all that much right now. So I'll click on Centaur. I'll get the summary just to make sure that I have enough resources available on this machine. CPU is doing basically nothing. RAM use is doing basically nothing. Very little in the way of swap. I'm not doing too much with this cluster right now, so that's not at all surprising. So I'm going to come on over here and create a new tab and go to Microsoft's website. Just go download Windows. And the first one here on Google's site should be it. It's a Microsoft.com address. Oh, no, this is Windows 10 for some reason. Apparently they are not good at their Google foo. So we'll go to Windows 11. This is Microsoft.com/software-download/Windows 11. And we're going to skip the Windows 11 installation assistant. That's for upgrading Windows. So what we want to do down here is download Windows 11 disk image ISO for x86 for x64 devices. So we'll go ahead and select our download. This is the Windows 11 multi-edition ISO for x64 devices. We'll go ahead and click download. My internet here is hella quick fast. So let's select the product language. I'm going to go with English because that's what I speak. I'm going to go with the United States version. Any of these versions should work just fine. I haven't messed around with the localization, but I haven't heard any reason why this shouldn't work elsewhere. So we're going to go ahead and confirm that. It creates a link. I don't like the way that this works, but c'est la vie. I'm just going to go ahead and click on the 64-bit download. One of the things that I don't like is that they limit me to 100 megabits per second. So here I am downloading. This will take roughly a minute 44. While that downloads, you can see the icon here. I'm going to go ahead and start configuring our virtual machine. So over here, we've got, let's see, I haven't actually used this for a while myself. All right, so Centaur, we're going to go ahead and create a VM, and we're going to call this Windows Install Demo. Oh, no, I can't use underscores. Oh yeah, that's right. This is a fully qualified host name. So we're going to go with WinDemo1. That works. We don't want to start at boot. And we don't really care about resource pools at the moment. I don't really have any of that stuff set up, so we can continue. We're going to go to the operating system section here. I would normally choose the ISO here, but I'm still, I'm still downloading it. So I'm going to skip that part and go straight to the operating system type. We're going to go with Microsoft Windows. Here it asks for the version. We're going to go with Windows 11/2022. I'm not going to use any media right now. Under System, I'm just going to go ahead and go with defaults, default. Yeah, I'm not going to change anything there. The TPM is checked by default. Yep, I'm going to go with full defaults here. Everything should be just fine for a Windows 11 install. Pretty sure that's what the thing on the OS page was setting up here. So I'm not going to change anything there. TPM storage, I'm going to put on my local storage. My local disks are a little bit faster than my NVMe disks. This is just where the storage is going to go on my machine here. EFI storage, same thing. I'm going to go ahead and set this local. I'm going to go ahead and remove this VM after we're done here. That's why it wouldn't let me proceed to the disks tab, because I had to choose where to put the storage on my VM. So if I go to disks, we'll select SATA disk. We'll say it's NVMe. And with a disk size here, we're going to go with 64 gigabytes. We've got plenty of storage here, so that's not a problem. We're going to emulate an SSD so we can get trim, which is important for this. I don't want to back this up. That's just a matter of automatic replication for all my VMs. I have automatic backup set up. I don't want that for this particular VM because I'm going to delete that afterward. We're going to go cacherless. All of this stuff looks good otherwise. We're going to go to CPU. We're going to give this 8 cores just so it's quick for us. We can do a minimum of, I think it's 2 cores for modern Windows, but I don't want to mess around here right now waiting for things to happen in this demo. So we'll give it 8 cores. Let's see. All the rest of this looks just fine. For memory, we're going to give it 8 gigabytes. So 8196, I believe it is. We'll say it's ballooning, so we'll use up to that, and that's fine. For network, we're going to go with an emulated E1000. I can switch this to VirtIO later on if I want to, but Windows doesn't have VirtIO drivers baked in, or at least it didn't on the last version that I installed. Who knows? They may have changed that with this version, but for now I'm going to stick with the E1000. Being limited to 1 gigabit here, networking doesn't really matter for me. All right, so we'll go ahead and confirm all that. Finish. All right, so here we have, where the heck is it? Where is the new virtual machine? Did I not create it on that machine? Oh, I put it on Defiant. Okay. Nope. No, that's not the one that I just created. Clearly I'm doing this live. Oh, WinDemo 1. I just can't read. Wow. All right, so there's our new virtual machine, WinDemo 1. I haven't started it yet, but the ISO has completed downloading. So I'm going to come over here to my downloads folder, bring that into view. If you're watching on YouTube, this should be in 4K, so please do as you will as far as zooming in. So here's the ISO, Windows 11 23H2 English. So what I'm going to do is come over here to my local storage on Centaur. I'm going to go to ISO images, and I'm going to upload ISO. I'm going to select the file from my downloads folder. And that's that one. It's 23H2, hot off the presses, the latest version. I'm not going to bother with the hash algorithm. I'm going to trust Microsoft for now. This should upload pretty quickly overall. I'm just transferring from my workstation to my server here. Note that the server is the local storage on my server is a SATA SSD, not an NVMe SSD, which means that we're currently being limited by that storage. And it looks like Bionic is saying hello. Hello, Bionic. Thank you for joining me here today. See, you found the stream here. Oh, I forgot to update the title. How about that? Hasty about getting started here today. 1 second. All right, so we have updated to reflect that this is a Windows installation stream. All right, so we're still uploading here. Wow, that's a really big ISO, over 6 gigabytes. Looks like around 6.5. And we're almost done. We're at 95%. All right, so that has uploaded and everything seems good. Currently, we're copying that in here. Come on. This is the boring part of the upload here. Should be almost done. Just moving it from one directory to another. It's moving it from some temporary space to where it's actually going to go in the ISO images directory. All right, so that just completed. Cool. All right, so we're going to go back to our WinDemo1. We are going to go to hardware. We are going to go to the CD-DVD drive, IDE2, and we're going to use the CD-DVD drive as an ISO file. So for storage, we're going to go to local and then select our, come on, reload, our Windows 11 ISO. All right, we're going to go ahead and continue, and we're going to go ahead and boot this machine for the first time. So let's start it up. And we'll go to the console here. Proxmox, booting, press key to boot. And we get the little swirling or starting Windows sign here. All right, standard Windows installer fare. So language to install English, time and currency format English, keyboard input US. That's all me. So we're gonna go ahead and install now. Setup is starting. All right, so activate Windows. If you have a key, do not put a key in this section. So right now it's asking for a key. The key determines what version of Windows that you're installing. If I do not put a key in here, which I will go ahead and click that button in just a second. If I do not have a key in here, it will ask me what copy of Windows that I want to install. This is very important. Do not put a key here. So I clicked I don't have a product key. It brings me to the select operating system you want to install menu. All right, so we're going to install Windows 11 Pro or higher. That's Pro, Pro for education, Pro for workstations, Enterprise if it were listed, which it's not, but that's fine. So we're going to go with Windows 11 Pro. Click Next. And it asks me to accept the license. Okay. Upgrade or custom. I'm going to go custom just because it's a brand new install. So I have drive 0 on unallocated space. I told it 64 gigabytes and that's showing up correctly. So that's our drive. We're just going to go ahead and click next. And very quickly, it'll copy all the Windows files, doing its normal Windows installation thing. I'm not going to touch anything else there. Getting files ready for installation, installing features, updates, finishing up, yada yada. This will just take a moment. I'll go ahead and fast forward through this if I can, or skip this part in the YouTube video later on. Do 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 do. This is where that SATA SSD is really holding me back. Despite the fact that Proxmox is currently installed on an i7 8700K on each one of these machines, and it's like barely being used on any of them. It's really the storage and memory subsystems that would be holding me back. Memory-wise, these are each set up with 64 gigabytes of DDR4, which is plenty of RAM. But unfortunately, it's only 2 channels just because of the platform, rather than 4 channels if I had a Xeon, or 8 channels depending on how good of a Xeon that I had. It's just what I have, and it works fine for my needs. I do have some NVMe storage you may have seen in terms of setup, but I'm not using that here right now, and that's because the NVMe storage that I have set up is slower than the local storage, and that's because it's being clustered for high availability use. I'm using Ceph as my cluster management system. So getting files ready for installation, this part usually goes pretty quick once it's already in memory and on the drives and stuff. The rest of this all is real quick. Come on. Wow, this is actually quite a bit slower than I'm used to on bare metal. Most of my Windows installations have been on newer desktop machines that I've been doing for work recently. So this just kind of breezes on by with an NVMe SSD, and also, DDR5. So we're just waiting. %53. Not bad, not bad. Meanwhile, I guess I will just put this right here. Little old school internet humor. %60. Lots and lots of dead air. Isn't this so slow? Let me take a look at the summary real quick. Yeah, it's mostly disk IO. A little bit of memory usage. It's 6.4 gig memory usage, which is fine. CPU's doing basically nothing. Yeah, the disk IO is what's killing me. Nice. Getting faster? I don't know. Every time I say it's going to be quick, it seems to slow down. We're at just about 80%. We've got somebody on Twitch trying to sell me, let's see, promotion, channel viewers, followers, bots. Yeah, no thanks. And wielding the banhammer. Almost forgot how to do that. I don't get too many of those. I'm up on 90%. Sorry for the slow and boring stream here. It's usually the stuff that I try to speed up in post, but I wanted to do this as a stream so that it wasn't edited, that folks could see exactly what was going on here. No switcheroos, no pulling carpets. Just raw, grueling Windows install. The boring stuff, the basics. All for what can be summed up in about 5 minutes. Well, nothing to do but to kick back and grab another Mountain Dew, I guess. Totally not sponsored, but good stuff. If anybody out there from PepsiCo wants to reach out, please do so. Happy to say a few kind words. This is also not a time that I typically stream. I will be streaming tomorrow evening, probably starting around 9 or 10 o'clock p.m. Eastern time. Going to be doing some 3D printer related content. I'm going to be jailbreaking my new Creality K1 3D printer. And that is just going to involve installing mainsail on top of the current Clipper-based setup. So definitely look for that. Meanwhile, we are coming right up on 98, 99%, something like that. Come on. Should have just done this on bare metal and used a notebook with a capture card. But it's all good. All right. Installing features. Installing updates. I doubt that there will be much to update because this is a brand new release from Microsoft within the past week. It should encompass the latest point updates. All right, finishing up. And we'll go ahead and just click the restart now button. No reason to wait those extra 10 seconds. And it's rebooting. And it should hopefully be starting from the hard drive and not the ISO. I didn't actually remove the ISO, so that could be a thing. We'll see in a second. We should see the hardware getting devices ready. Yeah, it's booted from the hard drive or the virtual hard drive. Starting services. We should get the out-of-box environment in just a few seconds. That's what enables us to set up the machine and get our local account going. It's just enumerating all the devices in the virtual system here, just like it would for the bare metal. Getting ready. It might want to reboot just one more time after it's found all of the device drivers that it needs. I think it usually does that. The good thing about Proxmox, or one of many, is that once it's all enumerated and up and running with the next reboot, I could just turn this into a ready-to-go image that I can clone. Template. But for this install, I'm just going to go ahead and remove it. I don't typically do a whole lot of stuff with, well, I do break fix stuff with Windows on here. But it's fine. This is taking a lot longer than I thought it should. I'm going to check out what's going on here. Again, this read write is what's killing us the most. Oh, nope, it's still going. Still getting ready. I should read about what it's actually doing for these processes. Because I really don't know. I wish they would just, tell you what it's doing with a long scrolling log on the screen so I know what's going on. But I guess noobs don't like that. Wow. Just saw it stutter a bit, which usually means it's nearing toward the end. Just did it again. I didn't configure anything like weird or big or anything, so I'm not exactly certain what's taking so long here. There aren't a whole lot of virtual peripherals configured. It's like keyboard, mouse, Ethernet card, sound, display. Storage. We've been live for 34 minutes so far, just to install Windows. Could have sworn this was much quicker. I haven't measured it in a really long time, though. I also haven't updated or rebooted the Proxmox cluster in some time. It didn't say that that memory was encumbered or anything. Yeah, RAM usage only 14 gigs. Network traffic is really low. CPU usage is basically nothing still. Got higher than average load because we're installing. Even I/O weight's not too bad. So I don't know what our bottleneck is here. That's pretty weird. Still getting ready. Yeah, I wish that I knew what was going on here. Is it finally done? Stop spinning. Usually happens right before it reboots, finishes. There we go, restarting. Now this should boot us right into the out-of-box environment so we can get set up, which is one of the things that I wanted to demonstrate here. So this is first boot for Windows. Windows 11 22H2, I guess? Or 23H2. Yes, that's what it is. Just a moment. For you Office Space fans. Like I said, we should be presented with the Windows out-of-box configuration in like a couple of seconds here. Come on, do the thing. Subtitle to this should be Cpgeek gets mildly impatient waiting for Windows to install. There we go. Okay. So this is the standard Windows 11 out-of-box experience. Used to seeing this. So I'm from the US. I'm just going to click net, yes. We're going to say US keyboard. I'm going to click yes. We want to add a second keyboard layout. We're going to skip. Just clicking the next button as we go. Checking for updates. I doubt there will be any, but if there are, we are online here right now. Granted, only at 1 gigabit, but we're online. Still got to check. Apparently, there are some minor updates already. It's the only thing I can think of where it would ask you to keep your PC on. Sit back and relax while the magic happens. That's what I've been doing. Good things coming my way. Promises, promises. Your PC will restart before you continue. All right, so it must have been grabbing the latest drivers for something. Just a moment. All these moments certainly add up. Here we are at almost 40 minutes we've been live. That includes downloading the ISO, getting the Proxmox VM set up, and getting to this point in the installation. Updates are underway. Please keep your computer on. Who would turn off their computer while the computer is updating? Is this like some big conspiracy that a whole bunch of people have done that forces them to put that kind of information up? Welcome. I get it. All right, so here it's asking for a name for the computer. This is the network name. We're just going to be consistent here, WinDemo1, which is what I call the virtual machine in Proxmox. We can skip that. It'll give it a random desktop dash whatever kind of name, and we don't want that. So I'm just going to type in the name for this machine. Another moment. All these Microsoft moments. Again, I feel like this is way slower than my normal installations, but still chugging along. And we're still chugging along. All right, one more reboot. And we're waiting on a spinner. Spin, spin, spin. Okay, so how would you like to set up this device? Set up for personal use or set up for work or school? In order to do a local account, you must set up for work or school. Next page. Let's set things up for your work or school. You'll use this info to sign on to your devices. Here, it's asking us to log in with a Microsoft account. So if you have like an Azure domain that you want to join for your work or school, you can do that here. You can sign in with a security key if you have one of those. It's like a little USB flash drive thing that pairs your computer with a domain. We're going to click on Sign In Options because we want a local account. Now, the two options that are presented: sign in with a security key, which if you have a security key, as I just explained, which is a little flash drive that connects your computer to a corporate account or a school account, or domain join instead. This is the option that we want. We want to tell it we want to join a domain. We don't actually want to join a domain. That's fine. But if we say we want to join a domain, it will ask you to create a local account. So we're going to enter our name. Hi, I'm Cpgeek. Click Next button. Enter a password. So I'm just going to type in a not so secure password. All right. Now it'll go through these terrible security questions. You can use this if you want to, and it will help you recover your account. I never do, but it forces you to do it anyway. So what I personally usually do is just click on one and then literally match the keyboard, type in a bunch of junk, a bunch of symbols, make it pseudo-random enough where nobody's going to guess it, and I don't really care about recovery, so I'm just going to click Next. Now they're going to force you to do this 3 times. I'm going to click a random question, and again, I'm going to enter in a bunch of garbage information. Sometimes holding down the shift key, just so it's not something that can be easily recovered. Okay. Hate that they force you to do the account recovery thing. They didn't used to do that, and it's fine. And I get a meow. Hello, Star Kitty. Haven't seen you in a minute. You want to be on camera? No? Okay. Now, in order to improve your security, not necessarily make it like 100% or anything, but I usually turn off all of these things: location, find my device, diagnostic data, inking and typing, tailored experiences, and advertising ID. I just switch everything off. It's not everything. It will still phone home in this case. You can do some additional things in order to make it not do that mostly, but this is the most secure that I can make it from this out-of-the-box setup here. So I click accept. And wouldn't you know it, it's checking for updates again, and that's fine. But then it'll reboot and log us into our local account. Where did you go? Darky 80? Yes, she walked away. This might take a few minutes. Don't turn off your PC. That's a lie. This should only take a few seconds. And I'm still not turning off my PC. Nobody should. I don't know why this is a thing. It usually only takes a few seconds. All it should be doing is creating our local user account. Don't know why this machine is so slow right now. Almost there. There we go. So here I am logged into my local account. I do not have a Microsoft account configured. In fact, I'm going to go to settings and about. Where is it? System. Okay. So here it's telling me that we have WinDemo1, the machine we're on, standard PC, and here it gives us a little bit of info about the virtual host. We're running Q35, ICH9, and 2009 is the profile that we're using right now for a virtual machine. It's a pretty standard Core i7 machine with 64 gigs of RAM that I've dedicated, I believe it's 8 gigabytes to this, if I recall correctly. Let's take a look at Task Manager real quick, just to make absolutely certain that that's the case. So performance, summary view, not summary view, change graph to logical processors. There we go. All right, so I told it 6 cores, or 8 cores, my bad. So 8 virtual processors, and we're currently at 3.19 gigahertz. We've been up for 7 minutes. And the drive is certainly doing something. Let's see, what's processes disk doing? Oh, OneDrive is installing in the background. Joy. Not a service that I want or use, but that's what you get with Windows. Anyway, so yeah, this is pretty much done. We are in our local account. If I wanted to license this, this is really important. So we do not have an activation right now. Windows is not activated, which means in 90 days, we'll get a little thing in the bottom right-hand corner that says Windows is not activated, and it's currently in evaluation mode. It will disable things like you won't be able to get to the personalize section and redo your display, desktop background, and that kind of thing. Like it always has when you do Windows trials. So Windows is not activated. If you have a Windows 11 home license and you enter it into the activation screen, when I click activate now, Windows reported that no product key was found on your device. Error code. We changed the product key. I can enter any valid product key here. I don't actually want to register this right now, but you can activate using this by entering your product key. It could be Windows Pro, could be Windows Home, could be Windows Enterprise. And when you enter that key, it will change. Where are we? It will change. Where the heck is it? Oh, that's not what I wanted. It will change. Where does it say what windows we're running? Oh, about? There we go. Sorry about that. So it will change the addition of windows that we're currently running. So right now we installed Windows 11 Pro in demo mode with no activation, right? So if we enter a Windows Home key, this will change to Home and will remove the Pro-only features. So for example, if I chose to install Enterprise, I know that Hyper-V is only available on Enterprise, or at least the lowest version of Windows that supports Hyper-V is Enterprise. And if I were to put in a Pro key or a Home key, those options would go away. I would no longer be able to run that software, and that software would be uninstalled because that's a feature of Windows Enterprise or Ultimate or Workstation. Whereas Pro and Home doesn't get those features. So if I were to enter in a Home key there, it would just change this to Home, and it would activate Home, and everything would be perfectly fine while still using your local account. You do not need at any point to use any sort of hacks in order to get a local account on Windows 11. If you want Home, install Pro, then enter your Home key, and it'll just work after you've created your local account. So you download the ISO from Microsoft. There we go. So in conclusion, you download the ISO from Microsoft. You install it by going through the installer, choosing I do not have a key with Windows 11. You select the version that you want. In this case, we want Pro or above, so Pro or Enterprise. And then once you get to the out-of-box setup, it goes through the installation of all of the hardware, does all of the updating stuff. You choose that you want to use this computer for home or school. Then you want to go to sign-in settings, and you want to domain join. That's the important part, domain join. Once you're done with the domain join, it will ask you to create a local account on your computer, and you'll be able to just use a local account. If you want to, from there, join a domain, you do have that as a capability that you can do, or you can not join a domain and just use your local account, just as you always have before Windows. Microsoft instituted all of this online Azure account stuff. So there's your workaround, and everything should just work. If anybody has any questions about this whatsoever, go ahead and put them down in the comments below, or shoot a message to me over on Discord. You can find a link to my Discord server over at Cpgeek.org/Discord. If you want to see what's going on my website, you can go to Cpgeek.org and find out all of the various ways to contact me on the projects that I'm currently doing. Unfortunately, I haven't updated that in some time. I usually do most of my day-to-day stuff over on Discord, so if you find me there, that's probably the best place to reach me. Otherwise, I do these streams fairly often, so go ahead and shoot me a follow if you like this kind of stuff. You'll usually find me doing things like building 3D printers, tuning 3D printers. I do computer builds on here, server builds. I set up the Proxmox cluster that I was doing this whole demonstration on stream here. So if you like that sort of thing, go ahead and hit the subscribe or follow buttons as appropriate. Please hit me up, and once again, go ahead and leave a comment down below if you like what you like. Go ahead and click that button, and if you didn't, push that button. I guess that works too. Otherwise, thank you for tuning in and humoring me through this really long install. Hopefully, if you have any sense, you watch this in 2x or faster, or you'll see the edit after the fact. But yeah, thanks for tuning in, and everybody have a great night. Bye-bye.